Quincy Jones, the legendary producer, is without a doubt one of the main reasons Michael Jackson transitioned from talented child star to the Grammy Award-winning phenomenon. They met on the set of the movie The Wiz, and Quincy agreed to produce Michael's 1979 album, which ended up being called Off the Wall. Quincy would go on to produce Michael's 1982 Thriller album and the 1987 Bad album. His skill was surrounding Michael with the most talented musicians, sound engineers, and songwriters, as well as his own ability to push Michael to higher limits. He introduced Michael to Rod Temperton, who wrote 7 songs, including the iconic Rock With You and Thriller. You could say that Michael Jackson was the diamond in the rough, and Quincy was the polish that made him shine. Together they changed the music industry and the world forever. But the Bad album saw the two at odds. Unlike the Thriller album, where Michael and Quincy had a set time frame and worked together daily, Michael had no set time frame, and he didn't work much with Quincy. Instead, Michael worked with his own musicians, wrote and recorded hundreds of songs, and then sent them to Quincy to listen to and give feedback. Then of the songs selected, they re-recorded them together. Because of this, Michael is credited as the co-producer of the Bad album. Part of Michael's growth as an artist meant that he needed to say goodbye to Quincy and push himself as the producer he wanted to be. Michael went on to produce his own albums and brought in the talents of other producers to give him a modern pop sound. Quincy felt snubbed and states he was effectively fired, but that was not Michael's intention. In 1995, Michael paid tribute to Jones in the History album insert, saying, "Thank you for showing us the way." In 2001, he invited Quincy to the 30th anniversary concert special, a sign of respect to Quincy for his part in his incredible career. When Michael Jackson died in 2009, you would think that any resentment Quincy had towards Michael would have long since passed, but that didn't seem to be the case. Quincy was invited to the star-studded memorial at Staples Center, but Quincy said,
"I won't go to any more funerals as long as I live. I can't handle it. It's gonna be like 9 million people there. It's not what I want to see."
But the true reason for his non-attendance soon was revealed. Quincy had a big European trip planned. He first went to Scotland to be made a fellow of the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, and then on July 7, the date of the Michael Jackson Memorial, the 76-year-old went to the Sunflower charity dinner in the Czech Republic with a tall blonde named Helena on his arm. Having a hot date at a fancy dinner might be a good excuse to skip a lot of things, but the memorial service to Michael Jackson? But a lot of Michael's fans were glad he didn't come to the memorial, given what he had said only a few days beforehand to the press. And warning, the following quote is very unsettling.
"He was the most gorgeous guy, but he obviously didn't want to be black. You see his kids? It's ridiculous. Chemical pills and all, I don't understand it. He'd come up with, 'Man, I promise you I have this disease and I have a blister on my lungs.' I don't believe any of that bullshit. Never. I've been around junkies and stuff all my life. I've heard every excuse. It's like smokers. I only smoke when I drink and all that stuff, but it's bullshit."
Strangely, on September 6, the day Michael Jackson was finally laid to rest at Forest Lawns, Quincy decided to turn up and make an appearance. Some were glad that he was finally paying his respects, but others saw it as proof that his statement about not going to any more funerals for the rest of his life was a big fat lie to keep his hot date in Europe. But most offensive to Michael's family was Jones's 2018 interview with Vulture magazine, as it involved an accusation of theft. Along with calling the Beatles the worst musicians in the world, he decided to say this about Michael Jackson.
"I hate to get into this publicly, but Michael stole a lot of stuff. He stole a lot of songs. State of Independence and Billie Jean, the notes don't lie, man. He was as Machiavellian as they come."
Indeed, the 1981 song State of Independence has a similar riff to the Billie Jean bass line, but besides that, the song is completely different. Michael may have been inspired by the song, either consciously or unconsciously, but to say that he stole it is ridiculous. But Quincy wasn't done.
"And greedy, man, greedy. Don't stop till you get enough." Greg Fillinganes wrote the C section. Michael should have given him 10% of the song. Wouldn't do it.
Greg was a session artist who played piano for Michael Jackson, including on tour. The standard process in the 1970s for songwriting credits was that any additional music written by session musicians, such as riffs or chords or instrumental breaks, were not credited as co-songwriters. They were listed on the album credits as having performed on the song. It was a clean way to ensure that a hired musician didn't turn around and sue the artist for contributing to the song with their own musical touch. Quincy told Michael to list him as a co-songwriter, which Michael initially agreed to, but Michael changed his mind when realizing the precedent it would set. The instrumental break written by Greg was listed as an arrangement, as Don't Stop Till You Get Enough was Michael Jackson's composition. But Jones went on.
I used to kill him about the plastic surgery, man. He'd always justify it and say it's because of some disease he had. Bullshit.
In the same interview, Quincy was asked to comment about his friend Bill Cosby, a convicted sex offender, and whether the charges were a surprise to him. His reply:
We can't talk about this in public, man.
Apparently Quincy has more respect for Bill Cosby than Michael Jackson. We'll leave you with this clip of Michael talking about Quincy. It shows who has the better character.
This is one of my best friends in the world. I love Quincy Jones, and he's a wonderful producer and a wonderful person. Also, I'd like to thank, again, Quincy Jones and the fans in the balcony.
Everybody get up if you feel like grooving. Everybody get up if you feel like moving. Everybody get up, don't be sitting down at night. Everybody get up.